Are the new NVIDIA CMP GPUs any good for deep learning? Will they even work in deep learning? That I'm not even sure of. Let's take a look at this new line of GPUs and see really what they're for. So this is an interesting blog post that just came out from NVIDIA talking about GeForce is made for gaming, CMP is made to mine. So you're really getting now some different lines going on in the GPU offerings of NVIDIA. You've got the GeForce, which can be used for deep learning. I'm more interested in deep learning than mining or gaming, but these all overlap. Then you've got CMP now, which is not even out yet, but these will be GPUs that are made for crypto mining. And then you've also got the professional workstation class, which is things like the A6000, like the GPU that I have in this machine, and the server room more like the A100 and the A40 and things like that. So the new CMP is going to be somewhere in between. The new CMP is going to be somewhere in between the server room and the GeForce that has been used tremendously in crypto mining. Now you see mining situations like this where there's just tons of these GPUs. This, I mean, as an enterprise guy, this makes my head hurt. I mean, I would be escorted from the building if I tried to set up one of these in a Fortune 500. I mean, that looks like it could burst into flames at any moment. But the GPUs are actually very good at throttling, so I think it's actually quite safe. But it looks a bit unwieldy. What you're doing with those kind of situations like that is, if you imagine this computer here, I would flip it on its side essentially and put risers in, which are basically cables that plug into the card. That way you don't have to deal with this dual slot GPU taking up two slots. You can just plug the little cards in and then stack these things outside of the case. It's not pretty, but for a mining rig, who cares? So if you think about a normal GPU, it's dual slot typically, and you've got the graphics connectors coming out here. On the new CMPs, that won't be there. It's going to look like a server room, like a V100 or A100. It's just going to be all grill right there. So maximum cooling as this thing is going nuts crypto mining. Now, if we look at this blog post, and this is making some people a little bit mad, I think it's almost necessary, or you're going to have things like the new 3060, which I think is a great entry-level deep learning GPU and also a heck of a gaming GPU. I think this would be a great card to build kind of a budget entry-level deep learning workstation around that is also a decent gaming machine. But I believe this card is also really hitting the sweet spot for the crypto miners. So you almost have to artificially prevent that from happening. So NVIDIA is essentially, the technical term that I've seen thrown around is nerfing. They are artificially limiting the hash rate. And the hash rate is what you really care about as a crypto miner. Because that determines how many Ethereum coins you're going to get. Most of the Bitcoin mining is not done on GPUs anymore. It's moved on to dedicated circuitry that has been built for it. Now, if we look at the specs on this, because the first thing I think about is, okay, would this be useful for a deep learning computer? Look at the specs though. This is amazing to me how these mining rigs work. So basically they give you the Ethereum hash rate, and you can purchase these individual mining cards. So they'll look just like regular GPUs, except there's no video output on them. You'll need some sort of other video out. You're probably running headless on a mining rig anyway, so it doesn't particularly matter. But I don't see any information here on cores. I do see information on memory. Not one of them goes up to the amount of memory that I would want I would want at least 12, 16 on a deep learning GPU, maybe that one. I don't know that you're going to even get the CUDA drivers that you're going to need, though, to even do deep learning, because that is just not what these are meant for. And they give you the Ethereum hash rate. And Ethereum is the type of cryptocurrency that you are most commonly using GPUs for in this day and age. Now, to give you an idea on these, I am not a crypto miner. I have run crypto mining on my A6000, which is a high-end graphics card. Do not buy an A6000 for crypto mining. I mean, that's like buying a Lamborghini to move into a new apartment. It would work, sort of. Actually, this is an effective crypto mining card, but the cost, the ROI is just not going to be there. To pay back the $5,000 to $6,000 that this card would cost is going to take a while. Now, the speed that I do see the A6000 get when I crypto mine with it, is just to benchmark it, is around 86 mega hashes per second, or whatever that metric is. So I did benchmark it just to see. Enough people asked me in the comments. I think I'm trying to mine like 1/10 of an Ethereum just to say I did it. Mostly I keep this card, though. It's too busy doing deep learning to crypto mine. Now, I find this fascinating that they're actually quoting the hash rates on these. I mean, imagine video games if they quoted the frames per speed. They couldn't, because the GPU is just one piece of that whole puzzle for a video game. Just like deep learning, there really isn't a nice metric in deep learning. I mean, you could do, I don't know, you could say number of steps on BERT or something like that per hour. But here they do have this nice, commonly understood metric of measuring how good a crypto mining card is. And the reason for that is crypto mining is happening almost completely on this GPU. What you could probably have a 286. Well, that's a bit extreme, but the computer is not as important. The hard drive access, the RAM, all these things that are very important to a machine learning computer that you might build. In crypto mining, it's the motherboard. You just want as many slots as possible to plug in as many of these guys as you can on risers, connected on milk crates, and whatever else you're going to build your rig out of. And so long as it can get the data in and out of the GPU, that's fine. And you don't need much memory on a GPU card for crypto mining. Now, I think it's called the DAG. I assume that's directed acyclic graph, is getting bigger apparently in Ethereum. So at some point it needs more RAM. I think they've come up with clever ways around not having enough RAM on some of the smaller cards. So these are very, very much built for crypto mining. I don't see really any application for deep learning here, if it would even work. And that would be a question too. Would PyTorch and TensorFlow, I mean, what's the CUDA compatibility going to look like this? Would all the options be there necessarily even on these? Would they have TF32? I assume these are probably Ampere, but I am not as sure of what exactly is in these. It'll be interesting to follow these as they come out. So if you're interested in deep learning, machine learning on GPUs, both in the cloud and built into computers, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a like. Thank you very much.